All right, get ready to dive in because today we're exploring something really cool. We're talking LGBTQ plus tourism in Japan, specifically Osaka. You guys might already be in the loop on this, but get this. The International LGBTQ plus Travel Association, or IGLTA, is having its first ever Asian convention, and they chose Osaka as the place to be.
And what's really fascinating is that IGLTA isn't just testing the waters here. This is their main event, and they're bringing it to a region that some might say hasn't been the most progressive when it comes to LGBTQ plus acceptance. So this isn't just a convention, it's a big statement.
It's like they're saying, hey, world, watch out. Asia's about to make some serious moves in LGBTQ plus travel. But why Osaka? Why not Tokyo, which is already a global hotspot, or somewhere else completely different?
That's what's so interesting. Osaka, even though it's Japan's second largest city, has this reputation for being more chill, more welcoming, a vibe that really clicks with the whole welcoming spirit of the LGBTQ plus community. And they're not just talking the talk. Osaka Prefecture was actually the first in all of Japan to put a same-sex partnership system into action.
And I think I read that over 500 couples have already signed up, right? That speaks for itself. But it does make you wonder, what is it about Osaka that's creating this progressive attitude? Is it just something in the water over there?
That's a great question, and honestly, there's no one answer. But Osaka historically has been a merchant city, a place built on trade and interaction with all sorts of different cultures. That history could definitely be playing a part in why they're so open today. But it's not just history. Osaka is actively trying to build an inclusive environment. They've got this initiative called LGBT Leading Company, and it's pretty amazing, actually.
Right. I read a bit about that. Can you break that down a little? Like, what does that even look like in the real world?
It means Osaka is putting their money where their mouth is. They're evaluating businesses on how well they cater to LGBTQ plus individuals, both as customers and employees. It's way more than just slapping a rainbow sticker up during Pride Month. They're looking at hiring practices, internal policies, even how inclusive their marketing is. It's not just symbolic. They're trying to actually change the corporate landscape from the inside out.
So it's like they're setting off this positive feedback loop, right? Where fostering acceptance attracts more LGBTQ plus tourism, which then just further fuels the need for even more acceptance. Kind of brilliant when you think about it.
Exactly. And it's getting attention internationally, too, like this convention. It's seeing record-breaking registration, even more than past conventions in places known for being LGBTQ plus destinations, like New York City or Puerto Rico. That says a lot about how appealing Osaka is and the message they're putting out there.
It's not just about the city itself, though, is it? It's about the people making it happen. And speaking of people, we have to talk about Shiho Ikuchi. This woman has been such a powerhouse for LGBTQ plus tourism in Japan for over a decade. She's basically a legend in the IGLTA world.
No doubt. And her story really shows how much can change in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, we've got that YouTube interview with her in our stack, and it's wild to hear her talk about how when she first started out, a lot of people in Japan had never even heard the term LGBT.
It's true. She said it herself in the interview. She'd have to explain to people that LGBT wasn't some kind of sandwich or something. That's how unfamiliar the whole concept was to a lot of people back then.
Wow. That really paints a picture of the uphill battle she was facing.
Yeah, it really shows how much things can change. And Ikuchi has been right there leading the charge. What's really amazing is that she not only saw the need, but she actually did something about it, even when the way forward wasn't clear. Like, for example, she started offering same-sex wedding packages at her hotel back in 2014.
Wow, years before it was even legal.
Yeah.
Talk about being ahead of the times. That makes you wonder, was she worried about pushback, especially in a society that was, still kind of wrapping its head around LGBTQ plus identities?
She actually talks about that in the interview. She says she wasn't focused on the politics, but on the people, on couples who just wanted to celebrate their love with a wedding, just like anyone else. And the response was really positive overall.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that sometimes the best way to advocate is to just give people the space to be themselves.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what this IGLTA convention's all about, too.
Totally, yeah. It's about creating a space for connection, for celebration, and for working together. And the timing of it all is really interesting, too, because it actually overlaps with Osaka Pride.
Oh, that's right. It's from October 23rd to the 26th, and Osaka Pride comes right after, on the 26th and 27th. Yeah. That's not just lucky, it's brilliant. Talk about a perfect way to show off how vibrant and diverse Japan's LGBTQ plus community really is.
It's a really cool combination, right? You have this global conference with industry leaders, travel professionals, LGBTQ plus advocates from all over the world, all happening at the same time as one of Japan's most exciting Pride celebrations. It's a chance for attendees to experience firsthand how rich Japanese culture is and how much acceptance of LGBTQ plus identities has grown.
I can only imagine what the vibe is going to be like. Speaking of vibes, one thing that really stuck with me from Ikuchi's interview is how she described the IGLTA convention as kind of like a family reunion. It's not just business, it's about community.
Yeah, that really captures the spirit of the event. It's an opportunity for people to connect with others who really get their experiences, to share ideas, best practices, and just celebrate how far the LGBTQ plus tourism industry has come. And for the people attending from Japan itself, it's a chance to showcase their culture, their hospitality, and how they see a more inclusive future.
And it's not just limited to Osaka either, right? Didn't we see something about trips planned before and after the convention to other parts of Japan?
Absolutely, yeah. The organizers are putting together trips to places like Tokyo, Okinawa, and even some spots between those cities that are a little more off the beaten path. They're really trying to highlight the range of experiences that Japan can offer to LGBTQ plus
It's
travelers.
like they're saying, don't just come for the convention, come and experience everything Japan has to offer. Which, when you think about it, is a pretty smart move.
For sure. It reflects this bigger change we're seeing in LGBTQ plus tourism overall, where it's not just about going to places that are considered gay friendly, but about really connecting with a place's culture and community in a meaningful and authentic way.
Yeah, like going beyond the rainbow flags and really getting to the heart of what makes a place special.
Exactly. And it seems like Japan as a whole, and Osaka especially, are really taking that to heart.
So as we start to wrap things up here, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. We've covered a lot of ground, from Osaka's progressive policies and thriving LGBTQ plus community to Shiho Kikuchi's amazing advocacy and all the buzz surrounding this landmark IGLTA convention. What does it all mean? What's the takeaway here? It really feels like we're seeing a turning point here, and not just for LGBTQ plus tourism, but for how Asia is seen in the world.
Yeah, I think you're right. For a long time now, the conversation around LGBTQ plus rights in Asia has lagged behind other parts of the world. But this convention, along with how proactive Osaka is being with inclusivity, it challenges that whole narrative. It's like they're saying, we're here, we're open for business, and we can't wait to welcome everyone.
And not just welcome, but celebrate too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. You don't host a huge international convention like this unless you're serious about being a major player in LGBTQ plus tourism.
Yeah.
It's a smart move, both economically and culturally.
Exactly. And it really shows how LGBTQ plus tourism is becoming a bigger part of the tourism industry as a whole. It's not this niche thing anymore. It's about recognizing the value of diversity and inclusivity for businesses and just for people in general.
It's about time, right? But here's what I'm really curious about. What happens after the convention is over and everyone's recovered from Osaka Pride? How does this momentum turn into something that lasts?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I don't think anyone can say for sure. But events like this, they have this ripple effect. They plant these seeds of change, they make people challenge what they thought they knew, and they inspire others to keep pushing for progress.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world, right? And it seems like Osaka is doing exactly that. And they're not stopping with just the IGLTA convention.
Sure.
Didn't they also get Expo 2025?
Yep, they did. And the theme is so perfect. Designing future society for our lives. It's all about innovation, working together, and making a future that's more sustainable and fair for everybody. That vision really lines up with the whole idea of inclusivity and acceptance that's driving the movement for LGBTQ plus rights.
It's almost like Osaka is saying, this is what the future could look like. A future where diversity isn't just something people put up with, but something they celebrate. A future where everyone, no matter who they love or how they identify, feels welcome and respected.
And wouldn't it be amazing if this wave of change in Osaka spread to the rest of Japan? Maybe even inspire other parts of Asia to rethink how they approach LGBTQ plus rights and inclusivity.
Now, that's a future I'd love to see. It feels like this is just the beginning, but one thing's for sure. Osaka is definitely making it clear that they're ready to lead the way. So what do you think, listeners? Is Osaka about to become Asia's next LGBTQ plus haven? Is this convention just the start of something much bigger? It's something to think about as we watch this all unfold.